know you know. Okay, next I can say. That's fine. Krishna. You keep quiet. You lead now. You lost the question. Krishna, 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 Hare.
Krishna, 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 Hare. Krishna, 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 Hare. Krishna, 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 Rakshama.
Krishna, 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 Rakshamam.
Krishna, 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 Pahima.
Krishna, 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 Pahimam.
Rama, Raghava, Rama, Raghava, Rama, Raghava, Rakshama.
Rama, Raghava, Rama, Raghava, Rama, Raghava, Rakshamam.
Krishna, 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 Pahima.
Krishna Keshava, Krishna Keshava, Krishna Keshava, Pahimam. Shri Shri Radha Gopinath Bhagwan ki, Shri Jagat Guru Srila Prabhupada ki, Krishna Book ki, Gopinath Youth ki, Jai Jai Nitai Gaura Premanande. Hare Krishna. Please have your book ready. We are going to do some reading today. So, 10th chapter, 10th canto, 3rd chapter. Last week we saw Garbhastuti. Garbhastuti, Garbha means the womb. When Krishna appeared within the womb of his mother, Devaki, at that time, all the demigods headed by Lord Shiva, Lord Brahma, and the sages, they all came and they offered beautiful prayers. Anyone remembers at least one point from what we saw last week? Yes, you don't need to feel shy.
We should glorify Krishna before praying.
Wonderful. Yes, we should always glorify Krishna before putting forth your request or before asking him anything. That's very good. Anything else? Anyone remembers? Anyone remembers about the ship and the wind analogy? Anyone? You can start. I can help you complete.
So
Dipesh?
The wind is the Lord Krishna's guidance for us to
Wonderful.
material world.
Anything else you remember? Who is the captain of the ocean?
The ocean is the material world.
Ah, the ocean is the material world. Yes.
The captain driving the ship is our guru.
Ah, very good. In that one point which I might have forgotten to mention is Nirdeha Madhyam. The body is like the ship. Okay, so the ocean is the material world. Very good. I'm impressed by your power of recollection and your focus. Good. So the ocean is the material existence. The boat is our human body. The captain of the ship is our guru. The favorable wind, they are Maya Anukulena. Krishna says they are my instructions. So when we read Bhagavad Gita, when we read Srimad Bhagavatam, Krishna, when we read any scriptures, anything that is going to give us guidance, we can understand they are all mercy of Krishna. So it's very important for us to know. Mercy means sometimes we tend to think little lazy. I would just sit in my home and one day I would just open my cupboard and the cupboard is going to be filled with all currency notes or some gold or something. That's not mercy. Mercy means when Krishna gives his instructions, when he gives the guidance, when he comes to us and reciprocates with whatever little bhakti we offer, he reciprocates us with his love, with his kripa, mercy, with his wisdom. That is real mercy. Prabhupada would often say that, giving an example, analogies are always good. because we can remember. So, Prabhupada will give an example often. We are like the lost kid. Anyone here have a experience about getting lost when you are a young child? Even for a short moment? Anyone? Yeah. So, when you get lost, you'll be like, where is it going? So, we are like the lost kid in, let's say, a big exhibition, in a big expo. And the child doesn't know which way to go. So, but the little child also doesn't know how to find the way back home, doesn't know anything. So, some person who saw the lost child came to the child and said, okay, you seem to be feeling hungry, let me give you some food. So, he or she gives the child a little food. The child was happy for how long? Little while. But then after that, after a short while, the child is still craving to be in the presence of the parent. Couldn't find again. Again somebody comes, takes pity on the child and gives a small toy to play with. That kept the child busy for some time. But then after a while, the child got bored. Again it was crying. Finally, one person comes, identifies the child. Hey, what are you doing here? I know who you are. I know your parents. Come with me. Okay, holds the child by the hand and takes the child to their parent. Of the three people who did favor to the child, one giving food, another one giving a toy, and the third one taking the child to the parent, who is the one who did the maximum favor to the child? Third one. Why? Go on. Yes. Anything else? What will happen if the child goes back to the parent? That's the point. You get everything. The parent can give food, parent can give water, parent can give some beating, everything. You get everything. So same way, for us, before we came to Krishna consciousness, we don't know anything. All we know was something is wrong. How many of you had that experience? I want something, but I don't know how to express. I know I'm missing something. That much. What is it that we don't know? But we know we are not happy with our lifestyle. In fact, even now we can't explain. Sometimes people ask, why have you given up everything and gone to Krishna? What did he give you? Hard to answer, But unlike our situation prior to Krishna consciousness, wherein we were confused, now we are so satisfied that we don't know the answer. We feel good. We can experience it. We can see others experiencing it. We can teach others to experience as well. But we don't know. We can't really put that in words. Understand? So, this person, third person, Prabhupada says, who says, I know whose child you are and I will take you. That is Guru. That is spiritual master. So, for other people who are doing other things are also good. The person who was giving some food, you can't condemn them. It was helpful for some time. So Prabhupada would say they are like the philanthropist. You will see people giving something in charity without knowing the purpose. Normally it is said if you give $1, 90 cents almost goes just in the admin cost. Do you know that? Only for every $1 you give, barely 10 cents goes to the person to whom it was intended. So with all intention, people try to help. So you can't doubt people's intention. But they are trying to the extent that they know. But who knows the ultimate truth? Only Krishna knows, or somebody who follows Krishna knows. Okay, so wisdom or Maya Anukulana, when Krishna says, this is my favor, this is my help to you, we can't underestimate that statement. Many times, if you look back, sometimes, how many of you sometimes sit and think about your past life? Past life means before becoming a devotee. What are your general thoughts? How happy I was then. What do you think? What thoughts go in your mind? Anshu.
I feel like 21 years was best.
We look back and we think that thought used to come to me for a long time actually. Why didn't I touch Bhagavad Gita much earlier in my life? I wasted so much life. But then sometimes I also think, thank God at least I'm still young like that. Now I'm not, but at that time I was. But all of you are still very young. Any other thought that comes to your mind when you look back? Or sometime it just crosses. Apeksha.
Like how, when something came, how I reacted and how I reacted.
How many of you have that experience? Sometime, before I used to react to that differently. I think I gave this example before. When GFC happened, Global Financial Crisis in, I think, 2009. I was working in Channel 7, one devotee called me. He lost his job. He had just bought a new home. Finding job was normally very difficult in those days. He lost the job and he was calling me. Hey, I lost my job. I'm like, I was worried for him. Hey, what are you going to do? Then he told me, well, I have to finish my rounds. I'll go home and finish my rounds. So for devotee, that's the only problem they have. I want to just go do my sadhana. Somehow something will happen. And interestingly, after 2 weeks, he actually got a better paying job. Something that paid him, I think, almost 35% more than his previous job. So it's like that. So many situations will come. How we reacted before to how we react now. That is different. Anything else? Yes.
In my case, I don't feel like all these years are wasted. Instead, if I look back, I try to connect the dots, and I feel like if that didn't happen, then this wouldn't happen.
You're a very positive person. How many of you think like this? Sometimes I used to think, in child I used to worship one Alvar, Andal. Maybe that gave me Shukriti to come to Radha Gopinath. Maybe I went to Buddha Nilakanta. Maybe I went to Pashupatinath. Somebody told me my great-grandfather was a great sage. Something. How many of you think like that? Rascals. None of that. Bow, 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 meow. That was our previous life. No. It's Agyata Shukriti. We could have done. Okay, even without knowing. You never know. Okay, when Kartik Mas comes, we'll discuss some stories in Puranas that is given about how even if you unconsciously do some devotional service to Krishna, how much it actually benefits you and how much more it will benefit you if only you do it more consciously. Okay, in the past somehow we did something good and it has brought us to this point. Now if we are in this position and do something consciously, then we can just go back to spiritual world straight away. Any other thoughts? Roman? Sometime if the thought crosses about like how your life used to be in the past versus now.
Differentiating the ideas like what's wrong and what's right.
So you have more clarity now, what is wrong and what is right.
I can focus more and then get a better result, a better decision in life.
Very good. Sushant.
Before I used to have a lot of time, now
Very true. Once you finish your studies, which you have, when you become a devotee and you are working, you will actually save a lot of money. Just like how he is saying, before I used to have a lot of time and now I don't. Before you don't know how money was going and now suddenly you will think, hey, I'm actually having a lot of money. You come to temple, you don't need to. Same thing if you go to a restaurant. I can tell you based on experience. You know how much you will spend. If you go to a movie, you know how much you will spend. It's always like that. But in devotional lifestyle, you don't worry so much about fashion. You don't need to worry about so many things. You just keep going. And suddenly you will see. Okay, so Krishna consciousness will bring you everything. Yo, what's your experience?
I feel like I'm in both boats. Part of me feels like I can't calculate or understand the flow of time and what things are important and not. Part of me is like, it'd be better to, as a kid, just learn it and then follow in the footsteps. But the other part is, just the journey of life and just appreciating this is who I am now and being able to kind of, going forward, what can I do to make it better.
Very good. Did any of you have this experience, I want to practice bhakti but not too much. and you used to feel scared a little bit, or you come to temple, people dance, it's like, looks a little weird. I like coming to temple, but dancing, that's the last thing I would do. Anyone had that experience? Others are shy. Some are putting their hands up. So we all have these interesting thoughts. So it's good sometimes to contemplate. Good thing about contemplation is it helps you to be appreciative, feel more grateful for what you have now. Understand? So this particular chapter, Birth of Lord Krishna, it's one of my favorite chapters. Favorite for many reasons. One reason is when I came to Sydney, I remember first time I came for a job interview in North Sydney, and I got job and I moved here. I was staying in Strathfield. Then I was visiting temple for first time. Sydney temple. Then I went to the temple shop. At the time, the shop was actually given on lease to one devotee outside. And there was a CD playing. I asked him, what is this? And then he showed me. There is a CD by a singer, Karnamrita Mataji. She's daughter of Prabhupada's disciple. I think Kunti Mataji, that's her mother's name. Very famous singer, and she had released the CD. And the title of that album is called Dasi. The whole album is about different prayers by women in Vedic scriptures. So, very first song, guess what? Is from this chapter. Mumuchur munayo devo. Has anyone heard that song? Sumanam si mudanvitaha manda manda jaladhara jagajuranu sagaram. Play it in YouTube. Nissite tama udbhute jayamane janardane. Without knowing, that was my first Bhagavatam verse that I memorized. This is just series of verses actually. Did you find it? This is Devaki. Karnamrita Dasi. That's the singer's name. And for me it was like, open, that's the one. Play it loud.
Sumanam si mudanvitaha mandam mandam jaladhara jagajur ansagaram nishite tama udbhute jayamane janardane devakyam devarupinyam Vishnu sarva guhashaya.
Was it? Okay, go to Srimad Bhagavatam, 10th canto, this same chapter. Go to 10.3, 7 and 8. That's the verse she's going to sing now. So, search in Srimad Bhagavatam, canto 10, chapter 3, verse 7 and 8. And this is one song, it's been like what? 20 years. Since coming to Sydney, 19 years. In 19 years, if you calculate how many days, 19 times 365. I would have missed hearing this song maybe a couple of dozen times. I listen to this every single day. Every single day. And I always take a moment to think, okay, this is how I came to this temple, this is how I came, and Radha Gopinath, they welcomed me with their open arms. And I always feel this is like their gift. Okay, did you go to the verse? Okay. So if you read the translation, 10.3. Verse 7 to 8, it's together. So 10.3.7 to 8. So if you read the translation first. One of you read the translation. Anyone? You? Yes, sir.
The demigods and great saintly persons are flowers in a joyous mood, and clouds gather in the sky and very mildly thunder, making sounds like those of the ocean waves. Then the Supreme Personality of Godhead Vishnu, who is situated in the core of everyone's heart, appeared from the heart of Devaki in the dense darkness of night, like the full moon rising on the eastern horizon, because Devaki was of the same category as Sri Krishna.
So if you read this verse, this is what she is going to sing now. Play it again. I mean, from where you paused. If you follow the Sanskrit, you can see what she is singing. It'll just go on a repeat. That's the song. It's easy to memorize. You see how beautiful it is. It's like you close your eyes and you can just go meditative. This is what I've been doing for 19 years in Sydney. I always feel this is gift of Shri Radha Gopinath. So this particular verse 10.3.7 to 8 you can memorize, but even before we go there, first 5 verses are very important. Prabhupada has spoken many times on these verses. Normally, when we come to Krishna consciousness, we have this doubt sometimes. How many of you in your past life, when I say past life, not before you are born, past life means before coming to Krishna consciousness. You think I was not like such a great person at that point of time, and you think I may have done something wrong and it may potentially come and bite me back at some time in future. How many of you think like that? I used to also think like that, But Prabhupada, when he speaks about this particular section, you will see when Krishna was appearing, at that time everyone, all the different personalities in the universe, they all came forward and offered services, even adjusting the natural course of events, how normally things would happen. You will see a lot of apparent contradictions here. Okay, so you will see how everyone adjusts simply to give maximum pleasure to Krishna. You can analyze these verses in many ways, even how we get along with each other. Sometimes, for example, let us say, if I tell to Galbu, Prabhu, please go and get some mats. And he goes, as he was going there, he sees Roman bringing the mats. And if he thinks, okay, whether I bring or him, doesn't matter. I just asked for mats, this boy is already bringing. That's like working cooperatively. But if somebody goes on an ego trip, they may think, Roman is also bringing, let me run faster, bring more, and let me actually arrive here quicker than him. Understand? That's not how we should act. So these section, it teaches us how the different personalities in the universe, be it sun god, moon god, directions, stars, seasons, trees, flowers, ocean, rivers, everything work in full cooperation and full harmony to create the best possible ambience for the appearance of Krishna. Now, our application from that knowledge is, if we also act with similar mood, in the mode of cooperation. Srimad Bhagavatam speaks about a section called Prachetas. At some point we'll discuss. There were 10 brothers and they go under the water to do penances, and they do for thousands of years. Meditating on Vishnu, they actually get the mantra from Lord Shiva. There is a section in Srimad Bhagavatam called Rudra Gita. There are many Gita in, we normally say Bhagavad Gita. There is different Gita in Srimad Bhagavatam also. One section is Rudra Gita. There is Uddhava Gita, you will come across Brahmara Gita. So many different Gitas are there. So this particular section speaks about Shiva comes, initiates them. They become disciples of Lord Shiva, and Shiva teaches them mantra, how they should worship Vishnu. They go under the water and they worship. Finally Vishnu appears. Now normally when Vishnu appears, you would see there will be glorification of Vishnu, and Vishnu would ask, what boon would you like? Somebody would say, I need pure devotional service. Or depending on whatever the devotee asks, Vishnu will say Tathastu and he will go. But in this particular section, when Vishnu comes, he says, what is it about them that attracted him the most? If you read that section, you will be amazed. He says, I am very much attracted to the mood of cooperation among 10 of you brothers. So whenever there is a mood of cooperation, mood of harmony, mood of unity, that attracts Krishna. Okay, so this particular section is important. We'll go one verse after the other. Let's start from the first verse. Go to Srimad Bhagavatam 10.3.1. Okay. Who would like to start reading? Anyone? We'll start from the back now. Salan. Just read the translation. Yeah.
Thereafter, take the auspicious time for the appearance of the Lord. The entire universe was surcharged with all the qualities of goodness, beauty, and peace. The constellation Rohini appeared as the stars are swimming. The sun, the moon, and the other stars and planets were very peaceful.
So these 5 verses talk about different aspects. As I said, the first verse speaks about stars. So, how many of you remember your birth star? No? You don't remember your birth star? Do you have Kundali chart? You can refer to that. That may give you information. That's your birth star. So, Krishna's birth star is Rohini. This Rohini star is very special. It is directly under the supervision of Lord Brahma. So only great personalities appear, keeping Rohini as the birth star. So there are many stars, about 30. Any star could have come forward. But they know amongst all of us, this is the most auspicious one. So they all push Rohini forward and they realign themselves. So Prabhupada says, just like how the stars are realigning themselves, similarly for Krishna here, similarly when we worship Krishna, whatever karma you might have done in the past, but that karma will get wiped out because there is a connection between whatever you did. That's how you understand astrology. At that time, your karma will force you to be born at a certain moment. At that time, on a macrocosmic level, if you see, the planets are actually aligned in a certain way, exerting a certain kind of influence on the soul that appears at that point. So if you want to understand about where this soul is actually heading towards, that's one way is you follow the person, but the person may be unpredictable. You don't know. You simply study the planets there, planetary movements. They are predictable. They'll clearly calculate. It's simply mathematics. Understand? So just like, if it takes this long when you read 5th canto of Srimad Bhagavatam, it discusses about the pattern of movement also. These days there are simulations of this, even for Jyotish. So that science is known as Jyotisha. So this wisdom was free in ancient times. Any Brahmana will actually give you. You just go to them and tell them, this is the day I was born and this is the time I was born. That's all. You sit there, they'll clearly tell. And if you tell them I want to get married, he will say, okay, give me similar timing of your wife or your spouse or your fiance. Or if somebody says, I want to actually construct something or I want to start a business, based on that, they will actually calculate. And they say, these are the favorable time and this time is actually not favorable. Don't do anything, but these times you can do more. Understand? So normally, when a soul is actually appearing, at that time, whatever the planetary positions are, based on their movement, the life of the soul can be predicted. That's the basic principle of astrology. But Prabhupada would often quote this to say, just like how when Krishna was actually appearing, it was actually not the turn of Rohini, but all the stars, they moved aside and they pushed Rohini ahead. So, service of Krishna can be done in the best possible manner. Prabhupada says, similarly, if we take shelter of Krishna, our planets also will get realigned. So whatever that was due for us, whatever bad things that we might have done in the past, search for a verse. Yes, Tvindra Gopam, Hatavendram. This is Brahma Samhita. Yes, Y-A-S. Yes, Tvindra Gopam, Hatavendra Mahosva Karma, Bandhana Rupa Falabhajana Mata Noti. Karmani Nirdahati Kintucha Bhakti Bhajam. Govindamadi Purusham Tamaham Bhajami. Who found the verse? Hand up. There is a app called Pocket Weathers. How many of you have that? No? I find that handy. I used it for shloka memorization. You can save verses, you can bookmark, you can do a whole lot of things, and it has everything. But it's not a free app. I bought it I don't know, when did they release iPhone? It was there since then. I've been using that since then. Anyone found that? Yes, Indra Gopam Atavendram. Anyone? Okay, read. Okay, 5.54. This is Brahma Samhita 5.54. Recite the verse one line at a time. Yes, Tvindra Gopam Atavendra Maho Swakarma. Okay, continue, Premanand. Bandhanu Rupam Phalabhajanamatanoti Karmani Kintu Chapakti Bhajam Govindamadi Purusham Tamaham Bhajami. Roman, you have the translation with you?
Yes.
Okay, read.
I adore the Prani, Lord Govinda, who burns up to their roots all fruitive activities of those who are imbued with devotion and impartially ordains for each the due enjoyment of the fruits of one's activities. Of all those who walk in the path of work, in accordance with the chain of their previously performed works, no less in the case of the tiny insect that bears the name of Indra Gopa, that in that of Indra, king of the Devas.
So, I'll simplify the translation. Whether one is born as an Indra or one is born as Indra Gopa. Indra Gopa is a tiny red insect. It's there in Vrindavan. You will see in descriptions of Vrindavan. Tiny insects, reddish. So, whether one is an Indra or one is an Indra Gopa. Indra means he's like the king of all the gods, or one is Indra Gopa, tiny insect. Everyone is bound by their karma. And they can enjoy and they have to actually suffer. But there is one exception to this rule. Karmani nirdahati kintucha bhakti bhajam. But in this whole spectrum of different living entities, from a tiny insect all the way to Indra, if anyone takes the shelter of Krishna, karmani nirdahati kintucha bhakti bhajam, Krishna will immediately wipe out their record. Have you come across in movies? Someone will do something good they'll immediately wipe out their record. Towards the end of the movie, you will see. Change their identity and they'll have a good time somewhere else. That's exactly what Krishna would do. So this is said by Lord Brahma. So when we are born in this world, there is a certain karma with which we carry. In fact, for newly born babies, that karma is represented by the hair. That's the whole idea of hair shaving ceremony for little kids. How many of you would like to continue with your... Okay, how many of you didn't shave since your birth? Everyone shaved your head? Girls, boys, everyone? Once. Yes. Congratulations, you are still carrying the karma of previous life. Just joking, but actually that's true. That's the whole idea of shaving. For little kids, they actually shave because the hair is considered to be the residue of the karma from previous life. Don't worry now, you're already grown up. Even if you haven't done, I was just joking. You don't need to. Krishna has already changed our karma. I can see, Prabhu. I think it's a little too late. Don't worry about it. Okay, so whatever karma we all come up with, even inside Krishna consciousness, we may do some mistakes. We don't need to delve on that too much. That doesn't mean we take undue advantage of that either. Okay, sometimes unknowingly we may do some mistake. I've shared this story before, but some of you are new. I'll repeat it again. In Bhagavatam, there is a story of one boy who was in Gurukul by name Prishadra. He was in the ashrama or the school of Vashishta in a jungle. That's where all the Gurukulas used to be, because they would be completely away from the city, so they can focus. It's in mode of goodness, so they can just focus on their studies. Krishna's Gurukul was like that. Dronacharya's Gurukul was like that, where Pandavas studied, you name it. Everyone's a Gurukul. That's how they do. Lord Ram's Gurukul. So in this case, he was given a service to protect the cows on a pitch black no moon night on Amavasya. It was thundering and there was a huge storm. And he was standing there guarding all the cows, holding a sword. Because it's in thick of the jungle, at any time some wild animals could come. So at the flash of lightning, he could see a tiger ready to pounce on a cow, wanting to protect, which is his service, wanting to protect the cow. He raised the sword, aiming for the neck of the tiger. But as he brought the sword down, rather than killing the tiger, he ended up just cutting the ear of the tiger a little bit. But then the sword landed on the neck of a cow, and without knowing, without intending to kill, he ends up killing a cow. Now, Gohatya is dangerous. How many of you know what punishment you get for eating cow's meat? It's in the scriptures. You might have come across Science of Self-Realization. Anyone know?
You need to take rebirth again and again.
How many times?
The hairs. Cow has it.
If one is answering, other person keep quiet. Here. Okay, so thank you. So how many ever hairs there are on a cow's body? That's how many births you have to take. How many of you have taken beef in your life? There is only 3 sinners in this room, including me. Karmani nirdahati kintucha bhakti bhajam. What can we do now? Chant the holy name. Things which we do without knowing, we can only hope for the mercy. That's how many. So here, this is his position to protect the cow, but rather than protecting the cow, he ends up killing. When the spiritual master comes, he gets upset with him and he curses him. Because you killed the cow, you acted as a Chandala, lower than Chandala. Chandala means people who are like dog eaters. So in the next life, you'll be born as a dog eater. And you'll be bereft of all the knowledge. And you'll act like that. So when Prishadra hears that, he humbly accepts, because he was also feeling guilty for having killed the cow. But here is where the twist is. Very unique story. It's so unique that it features in Srimad Bhagavatam. Rather than sitting and crying, which is what he would normally do, right, in that situation, what he does is, he picks up his beads and chants Hare Krishna for the rest of his life. The condition of the curse is, he will be born again as a Chandala. and he rewrites his karma by going back to Godhead in the same life. The curse will take effect only if you are taking birth again. So there are many instances you will see only Krishna can adjust even the manifested karma. Manifested karma means, like, let us say there are some things called instant karma. Have you seen reels like that? Instant karma. Give me examples of instant karma. One guy just speeds and suddenly, a policeman come. I saw once here instant karma. On Falcon Street, one person come. You are not supposed to make a U-turn at the lights. And there is not even a divider. He's just coolly doing a 3-point turn. And then he was welcomed by policemen. I could see from that, this is instant karma. Okay, there are some things are instant karma. There are some things which you sow the seed of karma now, but it will take time to fructify. Give me example.
Trying ice cream now.
Wow, did you eat ice cream? Oh, would you like ice cream? Correct. If you eat ice cream in winter, you will catch cold in 2 days, 3 days time. Any other example of karma? Come on.
If I eat too much in my youth, then I'll be obese. I'll probably get diabetes, but it's in the hands of Krishna.
Good example. Anything other than eating, please. Smoking. Yes. Any other example? Come on.
If I hit someone, I get hit.
If you hit someone, it depends. Whether the person is capable or he'll bring somebody else. So it can be instant karma or it can be a bit more delayed karma. Understand? Prabhupada says karma, the way how they work is, if you take a handful of seeds, sow it. How many of you have experience in gardening? Sowing. If you take a handful of seeds and sow, do all the seeds fructify, germinate on the same day? Some will germinate tomorrow. Some will germinate day after tomorrow. Some will never germinate. Some will germinate after 2 months. Understand? So Prabhupada says this is how karma also works for us. Some karma you will get instantly the consequence of. For some karma it will take lifelong, for some it will take multiple lifetimes also. Having given example before of Dhritarashtra, how he was a hunter 100 birds before, at that time he killed 100 birds. So the karmic reaction is he had to also go through the pain of the mother bird. But in order to go through that pain of a mother bird, first he need to have enough piety to get 100 sons. So it takes him 100 births. After 100th birth, he gets 100 sons. And then Bhima kills everyone. Understand? It took him 100 births for him to go through his karma. So karma is very complicated. But Prabhupada would often, when he refers to this, he would say, just like how for Krishna the planets are realigning, whoever takes shelter of Krishna, for them also, none of their past karma will affect. Once one reporter asks, reporter or one of the early students of Srila Prabhupada, Prabhupada, but your disciples also get cold. They also get sick. You said Krishna will save them. So Prabhupada gives a beautiful example. Prabhupada says, if I switch off this fan, will the fan turn off straight away? Stop straight away? He says no, because of that momentum it will slow down and it will do. So Prabhupada says, moment somebody chants Hare Krishna, Krishna has already switched off the fan of karma. So it's just a matter of time before it will stop. Beautiful example, right? One meaning of the word Acharya means one who can explain complex topics using a very, very simple example, which even a layman can understand. Okay, so here, first verse actually speaks about how the planets and the stars, they behaved at the time of birth of Krishna. Someone else continue reading the translation from there. It's 10.3, verse 2. You have to continue reading from after very peaceful. Okay, Roman.
All directions appeared extremely pleasing, and the beautiful stars twinkled in the cloudless sky, decorated with towns, villages, mines, and pasturing grounds. The earth seemed all auspicious.
So this is how all the directions are also personalities. So the second verse speaks about how the directions behave. So here it's given all the directions appeared extremely pleasing. Mind you, Krishna was born in monsoon season. It's a rainy season. But if you read the description here, all directions appeared extremely pleasing and the beautiful stars twinkled in a cloudless sky. Is that how a monsoon season sky would look like? No. Understand, it would be very thick, dense clouds you would see everywhere. You cannot see stars at all. Correct, if it's cloudy. But here it's given, directions appeared extremely pleasing and the beautiful stars twinkled in the cloudless sky, decorated with towns, villages, mines and pasturing grounds. The earth seemed all auspicious. So you can see how even the seasons are cooperating amongst themselves. Why? Because the rainy season doesn't want to spoil the party. It wanted to create a very auspicious situation. Prabhupada writes, we'll read that section later. Prabhupada writes that is rain good or bad? How many of you think it's good and how many of you think it's bad? How many of you think terms and conditions apply? Okay, wait a minute. Let me first ask the first one. How many of you think it's good? Okay. How many of you think it's bad? No, all the above. How many of you think it's good and bad? Okay, explain. Preeti. Why is it good and bad?
So, for example, like if we if we sow something in a field, like if it's gonna rain like unstoppable, so it's gonna be wastable. So.
Okay, that's a good point. In my place, in my village, they always say that the cost of salt should always be more. Justify. Salt, any other ingredient, we normally say, if the price of the rice goes less, a little better, sugar goes a little, it's better. If everything goes low, it's good. But only for salt in my place, they say price is supposed to go high. If it goes high, that means agriculture is going well.
Means people are buying everything and they get to eat it.
Okay.
From the rain.
Yeah. Elaborate.
So normally salt when there's heavy rain and then the water it's like the filtration of the salt is generally with the heavy rainfall and the water.
You started it well, but you shot a same-side goal. Normally, good guess. Normally, when it rains, because for salt to be produced, it has to be sunny. Okay, so they let the sun to actually evaporate. How many of you have been to places where they make salt? Okay, there is no ocean in Nepal. No. Sorry. But next time you can see how they do. Okay, it's a very interesting process. It's like, miles and miles and miles they do that. So, in rainy season, if it rains, that means the sun is less. If sun is less and the rain is more, that means salt production will actually go down. If the production goes down, will the price go high or go low? Louder. Which means in a place, if it rains well, then you can't produce enough salt. Which means you will have only less salt and the price of the salt will go high. So for agriculture, that situation is good. Compared to when it is only a drought, famine, no rain at all. Does that make sense? So in my place, they say always, price of salt should never go low. If it goes low means then it's overproduction, that means you didn't get enough rain. It's like inversely proportional, like that. Okay, coming to the original question. Why is, so Preeti said if it's too much, then the seed you sow would actually get rotten. Because of that, it won't sprout. But then do we need rain at all?
Yes.
Which part of the day, if we get rain, it's auspicious, and which part, if we get, it's inauspicious? Not really inauspicious, it's favorable. Night is what?
Auspicious for the rain.
Okay. And daytime, no? Okay. Right answer, justify. Sometimes accidentally we say. I can see in his eyes like, yeah, I guessed it right, but yeah, God.
They have to get the energy from sun.
Sadhu. So Prabhupada writes that night time, if you, in Vedic time, if somebody says answer correct, we say sadhu. If it's girls, it's sadvi. Okay, so if night time, if it rains, then the whole ground, everything will get charged. And daytime, if you get enough sunshine, photosynthesis will happen, the plants will grow very nicely. But if it keeps raining, conversely, for example, nighttime it's very quiet, daytime it actually rains more. Then you blame global warming for that. That's not good for the plants. Okay, so rains, normally they are good, but then there is a certain time when you expect them to actually favor you more. Understand? So here, second verse speaks about direction, how despite being a rainy or a monsoon season, the directions, the sky, they all cooperated to create the most auspicious moment. Okay, there is no fiery storm or anything like that. Krishna is born. So among the directions, they are not competing with each other. They are like, the rainy season is thinking, yes, this is supposed to be my season, but it doesn't matter, you go. So he is pushing the other seasons to go forward. They are he or she. They are all personalities. Okay, who's going to read the next one? Yes, one of you.
The rivers flowed with clear water, and the lakes and vast reservoirs, full of lilies and lotuses, were extraordinarily beautiful. In the trees and green plants, full of flowers and leaves, pleasing to the eyes, birds like cuckoos and swans, of bees began chanting with sweet voices for the sake of the demigods. A pure breeze became...
You can stop there. So this third verse speaks about how Mother Earth, she welcomed Krishna. First verse we saw how stars welcomed. They moved, they led Rohini, Nakshatra, to come and exert her influence. And second one we saw how the different directions they cooperated. This particular verse speaks about how Mother Earth, she made the arrangements. The rivers flowed with clear water. Is that how the water is in rainy season? It's usually very muddy, right? But see, the rivers flowed with clear water, and the lakes and vast reservoirs full of lilies and lotuses were extraordinarily beautiful. Normally, lilies, lotuses, they go with the sun. They are fully open during daytime, nighttime they just go to sleep. But here, because Krishna is coming, everyone is awake. Understand? So you can see the qualities of day being manifested at night. You can see the qualities of spring season manifested in rainy season or monsoon season here. Okay. In the trees and green plants full of flowers and leaves pleasing to the eyes, birds like cuckoos and swarms of bees began chanting with sweet melodies. Normally, nighttime you go under any tree, you won't hear any noise. Birds will be sleeping. Have you seen it? Experienced that? Daytime they'll be like wah, wah, wah. But then nighttime if you go, they are very, very quiet. But here, even there, birds like cuckoos and swarms of bees began chanting with sweet voices for the sake of demigods. Once they asked Prabhupada, all living entities that we see in this planet, now, do they all exist in spiritual world? Prabhupada says, yeah, otherwise how will they be in material world? Origin is always spiritual. Then Prabhupada says, there is even dogs in spiritual world. And then they ask Prabhupada, mosquito? Because devotees had a real tough time in those days in Vrindavan with mosquito. Prabhupada said, yes, there are mosquitoes. Prabhupada says there are even bees. But unlike the bees of material world, sometimes they can... How many of you got experience being stung by bee? You went to steal honey? I went. I got stung. You get such a big burning sensation anyway. So you will have the experience with that. But Prabhupada says in spiritual world, the bees, Prabhupada is imitating. Hare Krishna, Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare. Morning time you come, that's how devotees also chant. Which is bad, but they chant like that. Nish, 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 nish. Prabhupada says, what is this? Nish, nish, ram, ram. Okay, so you come across that. So here it said, bees began chanting with sweet voices for the sake of demigods. Okay, continue reading. Pure breeze, someone else.
A pure breeze began to blow, pleasing the saints of church and bearing the aroma of flowers. And when the Brahmanas engaging in ritualistic ceremonies ignited their fire according to the Vedic principle, the fires burned steadily, undisturbed by the breeze.
So again, this is seasons, how they cooperate, or the sky. You can see again qualities of spring season. A pure breeze began to blow. How many of you have that experience in our car park? You come little late at night, you can smell the jasmine. Anyone? Little late, like 9:30 if you go, you can. Don't come at that time, I'm saying. If you happen to, you will see, the very soothing breeze carrying the aroma of the flowers. Understand? So here it's given a pure breeze began to blow, pleasing the sense of touch and bearing the aroma of flowers. And when the Brahmanas engage in ritualistic ceremonies, normally fire sacrifices are done after, definitely they are not done after sunset. Usually that's how it is. But in our temple we do have initiation ceremony late, Bhagavad Gita Yagya late, Narsinga Homa late. In temple we try our best, but normally it is not done after sunset. Here we are talking midnight. So that's when Krishna is being born. But here it said a pure breeze began to blow, pleasing to the sense of touch. And when the Brahmanas engaging in ritualistic ceremonies ignited their fires according to Vedic principles. They were all sleeping, but suddenly everyone felt fresh. They went, took bath, and they started to recite. Prabhupada says Krishna's presence, his appearance was so pleasing. Even the demons were feeling little blissed at heart. They were thinking like, why am I feeling good? They feel like that. So here it's given a pure breeze began to blow. So all of these are qualities of spring season. And the fires burned steadily, undisturbed by breeze. So it's a very soothing breeze. Okay, not a wind. Okay, finally, who is going to read? Everyone is shy today. Okay, Apeksha.
Thus, when the birthless Lord Vishnu, the Supreme Personality of Godhead, was about to appear, the saints and Brahmanas, who had always been disturbed by demons like Kamsa and his men, felt peace within the core of their hearts, and kettle drums simultaneously vibrated from the upper planetary system.
So these are given as the qualities of Treta Yuga, even though Krishna is appearing towards the end of Dwapara Yuga. So here it's given, thus when the birthless Lord Vishnu, the Supreme Personality of Godhead, was about to appear, the saints and Brahmanas, until that point they were disturbed by Kamsa. They felt peace within the core of their hearts. I love this line by Chaitanya Charan Prabhu. He said, when you have problems in life, don't tell Krishna how big your problems are. You tell your problems how big Krishna is. Understand? So we don't need to go crying. Oh, my problems are so big. He said you should tell your problems how big Krishna is. Then your problems will look very tiny. How many of you have seen Mahavatar Narasimha?
It's trending now.
Oh, it's trending now. There you will see Narasimha when he is in the process of fighting with Hiranyakashipu. And at one point Hiranyakashipu, he expands himself and he thinks like, yeah, I'm so great. And then they'll, zoom out or zoom in? Come on, photographer. Okay, they zoom out. And there you will see he is actually standing on the palm of Vishnu. Narasimha is even more bigger than him. Understand? So our problems in life, sometimes when you look at it, it will look like very overwhelming and you think like, this is it, I can't handle it anymore. I cannot actually deal with this like that. But then somehow it vanishes and you forget about it. It doesn't vanish on its own. Prabhupada says, sometimes, once actually it happened, Prabhupada was going on a morning walk and there he saw a father, it happened in Western country, there he saw a father picking up his son, little boy, toddler, picking him up, and the boy is putting the letter on a post box. Very happily, with the glee, he is putting it, and then the father put him down. Prabhupada stopped and Prabhupada commented on that this is exactly how Krishna also helps us, but we can't see him. Here the boy is thinking, wow, I'm flying. And he is able to place the letter in the post box. So Krishna is also like that only. When we make a little attempt, Krishna will help us. But if we don't make the attempt, Prabhupada would often say that God helps those who help themselves. We need to make an effort to convince Krishna, Krishna, actually I want to do this. When you do that, then Krishna will help us. But if we sit quiet, Krishna would think, okay, this devotee is happy. Why disturb him? And then Krishna would go to someone else, whoever needs his help. So it's very important that we do our bit. And then we can expect some mercy from Krishna. Always it's like that. It's always a teamwork. I think we touched on this one many times in the past. How every verse in Bhagavad Gita, it's like an agreement between Krishna and his devotees. I will do this if you do that. But first we need to make the move. Okay? So this is how the different seasonal changes are given. How the stars behave, directions behaved, earth, sky, and the yuga. Okay, read the next verse. This is verse 6.
The Kinnaras and Gandharvas began to sing auspicious songs. The Siddhas and the Karnas upon auspicious prayers, and the Vidyadharsi along with the Apsaras began to dance with the drum.
You will come across these names again and again. Prabhupada in this verse nicely translates their clear job description. You will come across always Vidyadharas came, Charanas came, Kinnaras came, Apsaras. So here if you see, three personalities are involved. Kinnaras and Gandharvas, they sing only. They sing auspicious songs. They play musical instruments also. So that's what Gandharvas and Kinnaras are doing. Siddhas and Charanas, they are offering auspicious prayers. They recite verses. And Vidyadharas along with Apsaras, they dance. So three personalities are given. Okay, so one personality is singing, another one dancing. Apsaras are dancing. You see Gandharvas, they are singing. And then you see Siddhas and Charanas, they are offering prayers here. Okay, next verse.
The demigods and great saintly persons sound clouds in a joyous mood, and clouds gathered in the sky and very lightly thundered, making sounds like those of the ocean's waves. Then the Supreme Personality of Godhead Vishnu, who is situated at the core of everyone's heart, appeared from the heart of Devaki in the dense darkness of night, like the full moon rising from the eastern horizon, because Devaki was of the same category as Vishnu.
This is the verse. Mumuchur munayo devo. That's the song. Okay, it's a beautiful verse. You can, this section when you read, you take a moment to meditate, to envisage. Every time you hear the song, every time you recite, you emotionally connect with that. It's a very good meditation. Very good meditation even before you sleep. Good meditation before you chant japa. So this is a beautiful verse. Okay, and then Vasudeva and Devaki, they see Krishna appearing. Krishna, when he initially appeared, if you look at the the middle portion, I think, or wherever the pictures are, where are the pictures of Krishna appearing? I think it must be much earlier. Is that the one? Yeah, it's there. Can you see in the middle of the book the beautiful picture of that's Vasudev and Devaki, and Krishna is appearing as, yeah, everyone found it? So Vasudev and Devaki, when they saw Krishna initially he appeared as in four-handed form of Vishnu. And Vishnu also says why he is appearing like that. Normally Krishna appears in two-handed form only. There is a story we can discuss some other time. So he appears as in four-handed form. Why is he appearing as four-handed form? Because Vasudeva and Devaki, they have been dealt with in a very atrocious manner by Kamsa, because he has been killing. He has already killed 6 of their children, Sadgarbhas. 7th son, and that point they didn't know, he was already transferred to the womb of mother Rohini. But according to them, Devaki, she suffered a miscarriage. So Devaki had lost 7 kids, 7 sons actually, including Balaram at that point. At least she wasn't aware of Balaram's existence at that point. So they were like really worried about this newly born 8th child, because he is the one who has been predicted to kill Kamsa, point number 1. And point number 2, what will Kamsa do to this child? So Supreme Lord, he wanted to assure his parents. So rather than coming as a baby, initially he came as 400 Vishnu. So when Vasudeva and Devaki, they saw this 400 Vishnu form, they offered beautiful prayers. Vasudeva offered prayers first, followed by Devaki. And after being worshipped by both of them, then Vishnu speaks. First he says that you both obtained me as your son as a result of your penances in the past. And then he tells them about their past life. He says, find out the verse in Bhagavad Gita where Krishna says, many births you and I have taken. Natve vaham jatu nasham. Natvam neme janadipa. Na chaivana bhavishyama sarve vayamataparam. Na tuvevaham. It must be like N-A-T-V or T-U. Natvevaham jatu nasham. Anyone found it? Yeah, 2.12. Good. Read this verse. This verse is very important because people sometimes they don't understand about position of Krishna. Prabhupada would often quote this verse. Krishna is saying, never was there a time when I did not exist, nor you, nor any of these kings, nor in future shall any of us cease to be. Which means Krishna was an individual person in the past. We are also individual souls. Krishna is now also there. Krishna will be Krishna in the future also. And we will also be Jivas only. So some people, they think we were all originally part of one big blob of light and we are just little sparks. We all came out of that. And after we get liberated, we will all go back and become again one single blob, losing our identity. Prabhupada would use this verse to smash that argument. Okay. You will come across the word Mayavadis. Mayavadis think like that. And because the whole idea why people they promoted this philosophy is everyone wanted to become God. So to suit their understanding, they said, you know what, we are all gods. And then from being in that position, we then came under illusion. Prabhupada would smash the argument, that statement by saying, if you are God, how can you ever come under illusion? Very strong statement, correct? If you are all God initially as one single blob of light, then why did you come under illusion? Which means Maya has to be more powerful than you. Which means Maya has to be God, not you. Understand? Very fact that we have been coming under illusion. We have come under illusion. How many of you have doubts that I'm not illusioned? Good. How many of you have been to any magic show, watched any magic? You know very well the other guy is cheating, correct? But you still believe, one part of you still believes, correct? That's what illusion means. Okay, this whole world is like that. Bhaktisiddhanta Saraswati Thakur, Prabhupada's guru, he would give one example. I love our acharyas. He says one day in a village, one circus company came. You know what circus is? They still have that. So one circus company comes and they set up this big site having their big tent and they erect a wall, temporary wall around the circus. And they had one small door. Whoever came there, they were told to pay a hefty price to gain entry into the circus. They said, this is a very special circus, you should give. So they bought the tickets, they were standing in queue. Everyone was curious. So the door opened, the first guy went in, the door closed immediately. Remember Narsinga movie? All the soldiers come in, the door closes. Shh. Like that. First person goes in, the door closes. And inside he looks, actually there was nothing. Suddenly 4 hefty guys come with baseball bat. And they beat him black and blue. and they drag his body, which is already very exhausted, open the door in the other side of the circus, throw him out. And then before he even turns, chop, the door is closed. Again, to the entrance, door opens, the second guy comes, door closes, same thing, gets beaten. Second guy is thrown out. Now the first guy is, out of curiosity, is asking the second guy, hey, how is it? Now the second guy got beaten. He is embarrassed to admit it. He said, wow, fantastic. I have never seen anything like this. It was, well worth it. I can't wait to go on the queue and come back to this one again like that. Now the first guy goes into doubt thinking, looks like only they bet me, but second guy had a good time. So the second guy asked the first guy, how was your experience? I can't explain it. It was just out of this world. These days you ask the youth, how is it? It's mad. Is it good or bad? It's mad. It's like that. Then the third guy comes. By the time both of them, they have cheated each other. Understand? Third guy comes in, he gets beaten, door opens, third guy comes out. Now the third guy asks the first two guys, how was your experience? Ecstatic. Then they ask the third guy, how was yours? Ecstatic. He also says, this is Prabhupada's spiritual master, Bhaktisiddhanta Saraswati Thakur's example. This is how the world moves. Everyone knows that they get cheated. Nobody wants to work. Everyone wants to just play, enjoy. Everyone works thinking that at some point I will work, I would have made enough money so I can stop working. Is there anyone in this room who's saying, I will work even if they don't pay me? No. Everyone is trying for that, but it will never happen. We will always be in want of money. The guy who is having $200 billion is still want of money. The guy who has nothing, they are also in need of some money. The one who has $2,000, they are in need of more. Understand? So, this whole material world is like that. Everyone goes through it, but nobody is ready to admit defeat. So, Prabhupada would say, we are always embarrassed by our desires. We are always embarrassed by how material energy is treating us. But because we lack integrity and honesty, because we are all having that false ego, nobody is accepting, except one who comes to Krishna consciousness. Before coming to Krishna consciousness, I followed one other spiritual path. It's more like a motivational speech. I had respect for where I was. It brought me to a certain extent. But then you come and read to Srila Prabhupada. Prabhupada says, you are fallen, you are sinful and everything. I was thinking, initially it was hard for me to accept, this is sounding very negative, like that you think. But then after you read for some time, you think, actually what Prabhupada says is right. Once Prabhupada came from a morning walk, I think it's in Juhu temple. And then one person asked, Swamiji, why have you built this big wall around this Juhu temple? Temple looks like a prison. You know what Prabhupada said? Actually, prison is outside. Temple is the spiritual world. Prison is the outside. So this wall is for you. Okay, so we think, we have everything under control and everything. But actually, when you read the Shastras, you will understand when Prabhupada says the truth, when he says this is the reality like that, initially it will disturb us a little bit. How many of you got disturbed initially? What were your feelings when you read? How did it disturb you? I would like to hear. Short.
Like to do devotional service, it's very hard. Like you have to go with so much of penances, so much of work, and dealing with Vaishnavas.
Dealing with Vaishnavas is very difficult. Okay. How did it challenge you, Sushant?
Yeah, I also came from a different spiritual platform. So I was thinking, I shouldn't say this, but I was thinking, this all the guys is rubbish.
Like that.
Now I try for forgiveness.
Yes. Good. Anyone else? Roman.
So, you mean like in devotional path or as in...
Generally, when you read Prabhupada's books, let's say first time or as you start to read, Did anything there disturb you?
Oh, no, I was just not.
No, it didn't.
I was just thinking of my own disturbance.
No. That we all had. Okay, Premanand.
There was always one point which I felt very hard to listen to. Women are less intelligent. And I thought my mom is very intelligent, so I couldn't accept that.
Prabhupada used that in the context of they are innocent, and so people will easily exploit them, so they need to be protected. So the proper way, good point you brought it up, proper way to understand is, women, if you look at it, even Krishna speaks about it. Krishna puts women in the category along with brahmanas, women, children, old people, cows. They all should not be punished. They should not be, even if they have actually committed any mistake, offense should not be taken like that. Understand? This is the standard. But when you take only a little bit and selectively quote, then it causes a lot of controversy. Understand? So Prabhupada was saying in the context of that. So you can read any section of the Shastra. Shastras will always combine all five of them together. Women, little kids. So if somebody is being compared to a little kid, have you ever come across a male being compared to a little kid? You got a problem, right? Hey, don't be childish. Don't be immature like a child. That's how people chastise us. But women, if you see kids, they will naturally feel very comfortable being with women. Correct? So women, kids, cows, brahmanas, and old people, they are all put in one category. So we can't actually take only one alone and say, Prabhupada said like less intelligent. Not in the sense as how we use the word intelligent. Prabhupada uses in the sense that they are innocent. And they are very soft-hearted, all of them, all five. Cows are very humble. Cows give milk even to a snake, which may bite the cow at some point. But so innocent. Little kids, same way, so innocent, like that, in that context. Okay, anything else?
I think at first when I was reading the division of caste, it was according to like our genetics and our gene, like our
how you are, which family you are born like that.
Now I'm trying to understand. Still, I haven't understood that, but I'm trying to understand it in the spiritual platform, the division.
Correct. Chaturvarnyam Maya Shrishtam Guna Karma Vibhagashaha. That division is based on Guna and Karma. Guna means qualities, Karma means activities, what we do. Search for the verse. Chaturvarnyam. C-A-T-U-R. Chaturvarnyam. V-A-R-N-Y-A-M. What's the verse?
Chapter 4.13.
4.32. 4.13, okay. Sushant, you found it? Okay, read.
According to the three laws of material nature and the work associated with them, the four divisions of human society are created by them.
See, Krishna is saying he created four divisions in the human society, but based on what? According to the three modes of material nature and the work associated with them. Okay, Chaturvarnyam Maya Shrishtam. Chaturvarnyam means four divisions. Maya means I. Shrishtam means I created, like Shrishti. Guna Karma Vibhagashaha. How did I divide? Based on Guna, qualities and activities, what they do. Not based on Guna and Janma. Where did Krishna mention Janma? But in modern times, people divide it caste based on, you are born in that family, that means, you are great. You are born in this family, you are less. That's not the Vedic injunction. Vedic injunction is based on qualities and activities. Okay, Guna and Karma. Yes. What's your understanding? Anyone? Mataji's? Did anything disturb you?
Yeah, the only thing is when I first started reading stuff because every time he mentioned that we are servants. Like everybody's okay, but
Servant, you couldn't digest. Good. And then what did you realize after that?
After that, I realized that if there is any lower word than servant.
See, look at her realization. Sadhvi. Initially, servant disturbed her. After that, she's saying, my God, is there any other servant more? Dasa, no das. Okay, Gopi Bhartu Pada Kamalayor, Dasa Dasanudas. This is Chaitanya Mahaprabhu's prayers. Okay, so like that you will see. So you will come across many instances where initially we don't know, but the whole material existence is like that. Like how Bhaktisiddhanta Saraswati Thakur says and how Prabhupada exposes it. Okay, if let us say a snake is sitting behind you and I am seeing it because you are facing, don't look back. When I say that, everyone will be like, should I? No, you don't need to. How do you think I would tell you, let's say Gyalbu, oh best of the twice born Brahmanas. Or oh beautiful young lady. No, we don't say that. Hey snake, you understand, everyone will run away. Because we are in material world, because we are in a position which is emergency. So Shastras will use heavy words to make sense out of us. Understand? Prabhupada, when he uses that, because we are so much engrossed in it, Prabhupada actually, one meaning of the word guru means heavy. Understand? Lagu means light. If you take a mridanga, big side makes big sound, right? This is guru, top, top. Okay, lagu is like when you do close, you play it soft. That is lagu. Guru means heavy. It's given, one meaning is there. Okay, so guru's duty is for a soul which is just sitting and enjoying on the lap of Maya, he has to wake up, or she has to wake up. So that love will come out like that. Let's say if there is a dog and the dog just gave birth to a puppy. You go close to the puppy, how would the dog react? How? Not even Baba. Understand? Ready to pounce on you. Understand? Narasingha Deva's anger you see. You see anger, Prahlad Maharaj sees love. Understand? For the little baby, like one devotee I asked, how is the Narasimha movie? Everything fine, but anger of Narasimha is not enough. He was telling me. Because for a puppy, the more the mother is getting angry, more the puppy will feel secure. Understand? So, Guru's words are like that. Shastric words are like that. Sometimes we read and we think like, why is it always bashing? Is there anything that's positive about it? It just keeps on hitting me left, right, center. But actually that's not the point. The point is Shastras are trying to make some sense in us. Shastras are our mother. Guru is our spiritual father. Shastra or the scriptures are our mother. So when we approach them, if we approach in that mode, in that mentality, to absorb everything and then reprogram ourselves, rewire ourselves, then we'll benefit immensely. But if we go expecting something, reading something like that, we can feel disappointed. There is nothing in this world that can satisfy our desires. Desires are unlimited. Understand? So we have to be very mindful there. We'll finish with this verse. So Vasudev, when he sees Krishna, initially he comes in 400 form. He will tell them why shortly. But he tells them about the previous life. He says, in the first life, you were born as Sutapa. And Tapa means one who's doing penance. Sutapa means very great penances. So you are one of the Prajapati. Prajapati means progenitors. So they propagate the population. So Brahma instructed him to do, but before conceiving, before propagating the population, what they did was, they did tapasya, penance, both Sutapa and his wife Prishni. So that is the first birth of Vasudeva and Devaki. And Krishna tells him this. And he says, at that time, you both did extreme penances, not for 1 year or 2 years, but for 12,000 celestial years. Can somebody explain what is 1 celestial year? Anyone knows? In our earthly calculation.
1 lakh years.
Okay. Tell me in more simple terms. What is 1 day in celestial year compared to earthly year? Compared to earth. Anyone knows? Our 1 year is their 1 day.
360.
Okay, so our 1 year 365 days is their 1 day. Indra, he lives for 10,000 years like that. You calculate it like that. That's why it is said. So, 6 months of the year, then demigods go to sleep. You know what is Brahma Muhurta for demigods? Kartik Mas. That's why Damodar month is considered auspicious even for demigods. They wake up during that time. They also do Arati. They also sit for Japa. That's why that month is meant for maximum devotional service. As much as possible we should do. It starts from 7th of October. Okay, so there, our 1 year is there 1 day. Like that you calculate 360. Like that you calculate, that's 1 year, 12,000 times that. That's how long. You can do the math. That's how many years Sutapa and Prishni, they did tapasya. And then he says, being pleased with you, I came and appeared. At that time you asked me to be born as your son. In your next life you were born as Kashyapa and Aditi. And Kashyapa Muni and Aditi. He said, at that time I appeared as Vamanadev. First time when they asked Prishni, at that time he says, at that time I appeared for both of you as Prishni Garbha. You know Dhruva Maharaj, when he goes to the forest, he worships in Vrindavan. At that time Prishni Garbha comes. That Vishnu who came, appeared in front of Dhruva, his name is Prishni Garbha. His father and mother are Sutapa and Prishni. That's why it's known as Prishni Garbha. Garbha means womb, one who came from the womb of Prishni. Okay, so Krishna, he says, you did all the penances because you wanted me to come as your son, and I gave you the boon that I'll come 3 times. First time I came as Prishni Garbha. Second time I came as Vamana when you appeared as Kashyapa and Aditi. And now third life, now you are appearing as Vasudeva and Devaki. Now I am coming as Krishna. After this, we will all go back home. So then saying all of this, Krishna then changes from, and he tells, I know you are all tormented by the atrocities of Kamsa, but if I come in little baby form, you will never understand who I am. Even you won't believe me. So to assure you, to give you confidence, I have come in 400 form. And then Krishna vanishes from 400 form. You see in that image, one baby Krishna is there with a nice cushion. Have you seen it? Baby. Prabhupada says, here is Supreme Lord. When he appeared with a small crown, nicely dressed, decorated with all jewels. So Prabhupada says, this is God. Even when he was a baby, he was born with beautiful ornaments and everything. Prabhupada says, normal babies, none of them are born like this. Okay, so after this, he would then direct him where he should take. So shortly after this, Vasudeva carries this baby, and Devaki, when she prays, when Vishnu was there, she prays, my Lord, please hide. Even though she knew this is Supreme Lord, he is destined to kill Kamsa. He is capable of killing Kamsa. He is Supreme Lord himself. Still, her motherly love is superseding her mood of awe and reverence. So she is thinking, this is Vishnu, but this is my son. What if Kamsa comes and kills? Actually, if Kamsa comes, Kamsa has to be worried, not Vishnu. But she thinks like that. Oh, please. So Krishna, not wanting to see his mother being anxious, he then comes to a form of a small baby, and then Vasudeva, he picks up the baby, and as he comes out, Kamsa had already put all guards. In fact, he had even had the doors chained. But suddenly the door burst open, the chain, they unshackle themselves, and Vasudeva carries baby Krishna outside to cross Mother Yamuna to take him to Vrindavan. We'll discuss that section next week, and we'll continue to the next chapter. Any questions?
At the time of Krishna's birth, he comes out with all the ornaments within his body. Why Krishna shows it to people like this? Krishna is already Supreme Krishna. Why he wears the ornaments?
Why shouldn't he?
Because he is the Supreme.
Exactly. He is wearing because he can. You could have also worn because if you could have. He is doing it because he can. What's the problem? Any other question? We'll finish here. I'll take your questions. Jagat Guru Srila Prabhupada ki, Sri Shri Radha Gopinath Bhagwan ki. Gopinath's Youth Ki Jai, Samaved Gaur Bhakta Vrind Ki Jai, Jai Nitai Gaur Premanande, Hari Hari Bo.